And moving on, at this point, it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium the pioneer of independent chocolate industry. Please help me welcome Chantal Coady. Chantal, please.
Good evening, and thank you so much, Your Majesty, Your Majesties, Lord, ladies and gentlemen, for coming tonight on this very special occasion. This is my third cocoa dinner. I'm very much looking forward to it, and it's always a real pleasure to be here. And I'm introducing tonight the First Lady of Kwara State, Nigeria. It's Her Excellency, Mrs. Olufukolake Abdul Razak. But I believe she's just popped out, so I'm sorry. Should I introduce someone else instead, maybe? Or should we go on to His Excellency, Trinidad and Tobago, Orville, London? Would you like to come to the stage now?
Thank you very much. And let me recognize the First Lady of the Kwara State, Nigeria, Ms. Folake Abdul Razak. I'd like to recognize Dr. Akin Alabi, representing the First Lady of Oyo State, Nigeria, Bishop Omuku, the Mayor of Enfield, Kate Anoli, Mrs. Sarah Jane Steens, Chairman of the Academy of Chocolate, Mr. David Lloyd, Mr. Andrew Whiting, other speakers, Ms. Coady, Ms. Naz Khan, and Mr. Bode Matthews. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be here this evening, and I wish to thank the friends of Eti-Oni and the organizers of this 2019 Royal Cocoa Festival dinner for providing me with the opportunity to participate fully in this evening's activities. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm convinced that participation, meaningful participation, and the potential for mutually beneficial collaboration are what this evening is all about. And what is happening in this place this evening is indicative of what has been happening or should be happening in the world of cocoa and chocolate, and why we should all be keen to be part of the process. I come from the island of Tobago in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago has a population of just over 60,000 people. But when I had my first interaction with representatives of Eti-Oni and Nigeria at the Academy of Chocolate's 2019 awards function at Mayfair on the 22nd of July, it was a conversation between equals. Population size, GDP, geographical location, total output, none of these factors was really relevant. Our interaction was about cocoa and chocolate. We recognize that despite the difference in size and the thousands of miles that separated our countries, we were grappling with similar challenges, some of them historic. Citizens of the Caribbean and Africa are well aware of the challenges faced by countries dependent on primary products over many decades, in fact centuries. Dependence, whether on sugar, cotton, bananas, and of course cocoa, has made us susceptible to the vagaries of the market and the decisions of the real movers and shakers in distant lands. The development of the cocoa industry has the potential and is hopefully beginning to buck that trend. In a recent address the Minister of Trade and Industry in Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Paula Gopi-Schoon, said, and I quote, "The local cocoa and chocolate sectors have enjoyed much growth." She noted that while the export of cocoa beans for the last fiscal year totaled $9.8 million, chocolate products grossed $73.5 million, a reversal of the traditional process and an indication that developing countries can and must focus on what I call homegrown value added. But Minister Gopi-Schoon did admit that Trinidad and Tobago is still in its early strides. Many other developing countries and regions are in their early strides. And I am positive that as we move forward, we should walk more closely together. We are all supportive of the International Cocoa Organization mandate to improve the livelihoods of cocoa farming communities on the one hand, while on the other hand to respond to consumer demands related to food quality and security and to address environmental and social issues. I am reiterating that if these goals are to be achieved, we need to extend our collaboration beyond this evening. My information is that the premier chocolate market is set to grow to $33 billion by 2024. Consequently, there is significant potential for export of fine in flavor cocoa products. Trinidad and Tobago, for example, is experimenting with artisan products infused with tonga beans and passion fruit, hoping to exploit the potential of niche markets. There is scope for collaboration with other countries and regions which might be on a similar path. There could also be collaboration in our cocoa plant breeding program and other areas of research and development. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to boast a little. In Tobago, we produce some of the best cocoa in the world. But our native birds like the parrots, parakeets, and cockatoos tend to reap more benefit from the crops than the farmers. For many years, we have been seeking the most cost-effective, environmentally sensitive, and ethically acceptable methods to manage the situation. And I'm certain that we can benefit from the experiences of cocoa producers, some of you possibly in this room. And if anybody has a solution, just check me after. In fact, we might even be able to learn something from the proposed call of parakeets in Madrid, Spain. I understand that that is happening as we speak. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, I am advocating a strengthening of what I like to call cocoa diplomacy. The creation of a space, an environment where we can share, in formal and informal settings, our challenges, our experiments, our experiences, and our solutions. And this is not just about South-to-South cooperation. The conversation has to be extended to the producers and the consumers in the developed world. Let us compare practices. Let us forge partnerships. Let us, for example, organize business-to-business meetings between producers and foreign boutique specialist chocolatiers from North America, Europe, and the other major markets. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude with a quote from Mr. Winston Rudder, the chairman of the Cocoa Development Company of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Rudder said, "Trinidad and Tobago's sterling contribution in cocoa and chocolate production is not a birthright, but an opportunity to be utilized." And he went on, "We have much to be thankful for, but we're only skimming the surface of the opportunities that exist." Ladies and gentlemen, that admonition, that challenge is relevant to all of us. We are really just skimming the surface of the myriad opportunities that exist in the dynamic but lucrative cocoa and chocolate markets. We have a responsibility to maximize those opportunities. And I emphasize again that will be much more effective and much more successful if we were to adopt a more collaborative approach. Thanks again for giving me the opportunity to share, and I look forward to a pleasant and productive evening. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the Right Honorable Orville London, the High Commissioner for Trinidad and Tobago.